Of
Welcome
course.
to the Geeky Weekly show. And tonight I'm delighted to introduce our guest for the night, Derek Iversen. Derek is a writer, a screenwriter. He has written over 50 episodes of SpongeBob, which is something very close to my heart. I'm a big SpongeBob fan. He's got a fantastic little channel called Honky D's Micro Songs, which I spent a lot of time watching today. It's highly entertaining, and strongly suggest you go and look at Honky D's Micro Songs. We have our perhaps if we go around and introduce ourselves to you, Derek. My name is Mark. And I'm retired. I sort of do comics as a hobby. I have a little comics business. Live in England. And have a YouTube channel. I'm going to hand over to the man I think you know, Mr. Field.
Hey guys, Derek. So glad you could show up for the show.
My pleasure.
It's fantastic having you here. We've been friends for a long time on Facebook, and I too am an animator who created a series for through MTV, who was kind of a sister company, of course, to Nickelodeon. It never aired, and we've talked about that many times on here, and I'm still disappointed, but I'm glad I had the opportunity. I along with my friend Kyle, who's here as well. We're the only two Americans on the show. The rest are Brits, and don't hold it against them. They're all nice guys, even stiff upper lips and all. But I kid. And then, without further ado, Kyle, explain yourself.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm a guy. I kind of plugged everybody in together a couple of years back.
So, Derek, what led you from Phoenix to California and to animation?
Well, chasing a dream, I suppose. I didn't exactly come out to California with a plan to get into animation. That actually wasn't necessarily in my crosshairs. All I knew I wanted to do was get into the business in some capacity, because I wanted to write and perform. That was it, you know. And I wanted to go.
Are you a comedian?
In a way, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't do stand up, but I do.
When you
actually,
said perform,
yeah. Well, I do perform, but mostly I do sketch comedy. I do
improv?
The micro songs that Mark was talking about. I've certainly done improv, but and
awesome.
I've acted, you know. I certainly like to do that. I've directed, I've written plays, and I've been in those plays.
Awesome.
So, you know, I've done a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, I've never been particularly shy or anything. So, and I'm a bit of a ham. I like to get up in front of an audience and do my thing. So,
I do too.
LA was a natural. LA is not that far from Phoenix compared to the whole size of the country. You know, it's what, 6-7 hour drive. And so I knew I wouldn't be that far from family. And if I really wanted to go back to Arizona, it wasn't going to be a huge deal. And I just came out here with a dream, you know. And I had a roommate, a college roommate who I had done sketch comedy with, who had moved out to LA. And he was working at Nickelodeon. Actually, he was working at Nick Animation, and that wasn't the first job I got when I moved to town, because I just took a survival job at a pager company. Remember pagers? Yeah, yeah. So that seemed like the future then, but no, it was really just a dumb job to pay the bills. And about 3 months after I had been in town, I interviewed for and finally got a job at Nickelodeon. I got the most entry-level job you could get. I was a driver for a show called Angry Beavers, if anybody remembers that.
I remember Angry Beavers.
Yeah,
I
that was a little while ago.
Beavers.
Well, yeah, sometimes you run into them. So that was my start. That was before Nickelodeon even moved into the studio they're in now, and that was back when shows had their own runners. And in those days, a lot of my job would be like going to the library to get reference material because the internet was still kind of nascent at that point, and it wasn't necessarily that great or extensive if you really wanted to research something or find visual reference. So a lot of times I'd be going, like we need a book on British biplanes or whatever. Okay, well, see what I can find. Whatever it is, and so I would go and round up materials for the artists, and of course, that was also analog, still in the art department, where
Yeah.
they're still doing physical paintings and not just purely digital work. I mean, they would scan the paintings and then
Are
they
we
would make
sort of
them.
late 80s, early 90s here?
Oh no, you're talking
This is
90s,
no late
2000s.
90s. This is
Late
97. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like my kid's age. I would have thought you were closer to our age, but you're closer to my kid's age.
I'm 54. Yeah. So
Oh,
wherever that puts you.
I'd have thought mid 40s. So you hold that
Oh,
well.
well, thanks. I'll take that. But yeah. Yeah. No, I'm 54 now. I guess I moved out here, I was in my late 20s at that time.
I'm driving to and from the library.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, we were
And
talking
then
about Angry Beavers.
one day somebody says, "Can you write?"
No, nobody says that. Nobody
Okay.
says that because there's so many people saying, I want to write, that
Oh, okay.
there's no one would ever ask that. Because as soon as they ask, it'll be like a swarm of flies on shit,
Okay.
so they don't ask. You have to be assertive about it,
Oh,
or proactive, I guess, would be. Actually, I think maybe I'd rather say assertive, because I hate that word proactive. But anyway, you have to be the instigator of this, because no one's gonna come to you and go, "Hey, do you want to write a television show?" No, that's not ever
that
how
doesn't
it
happen.
works.
No.
No, not especially not in LA. It's the last thing anyone's gonna do. No, I had to find my way into that, and it was a circuitous meandering path, because I guess that's just how I roll. But I wasn't I didn't just instantly go, I'm gonna write for Angry Beavers. Like, no, not really. I remember I did come up with some ideas for that show, but they never went anywhere. It took a long time for me to crack the writer's room, a long
Right.
time. And that is a whole path. I mean, basically, like, I went from driver on Angry Beavers to we moved into the new studio a year later, and then they consolidated me into the mailroom. So I was just like mailroom guy, runner for the entire studio, along with a pool of other runners. And then eventually, later that year, there was an opening for a new show that had just gotten picked up called SpongeBob Squarepants, and they were looking for production assistants. And I said, why not? I'll give this one a shot. It's funny because I was actually another show before that I could have tried for, but I didn't because I really didn't like the show, and that was Cat Dog. And I was like,
a good choice because I've never heard of Cat Dog.
Well,
you've
Cat
never heard of
Dog
Cat?
ran
Yeah,
for
there
about
you go.
3 years, didn't it? I think Derek.
Yeah, something like that. They
Oh,
actually
okay.
made a ton of episodes of that show for
wow.
some reason. The heads of the studio thought, "Oh, this is dynamite! Everyone's gonna love it." And what actually happened was, because I don't know if you ever, for those who have seen the design of Cat Dog, Bill, maybe you remember this. Cat Dog has two heads, and on one head is a cat, or on one side is a cat, and on the other side is a dog. And whenever kids would come for the tours and they'd see the artwork, the first question they would ask is, how does it go to the bathroom? And it just became like such a distraction
That is
from
true.
anything else that you would think about or care about with the show that I never really caught fire, I think, because of that. It was
Yeah.
like the design itself that just made kids go, is it just collecting poop inside of itself?
How does it work? Yeah.
And it was like, so I'm really glad that I didn't jump at the opportunity to be a PA on Cat Dog. I waited. I saw what SpongeBob was looking like, and I thought that was pretty cool. And they brought me on as a PA, and we were just this little scrappy production. And at the time, we were we weren't out to make a global hit. We really weren't. We were really just like trying to make a good show that we thought was funny.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is going to be probably like a niche audience. It's kind of weird. Like it's going to resonate with some people, and other people are going to be like, yeah, this just isn't my thing. But we didn't worry about it. We really just were like, we believed in it. We were like, this is fun. We're enjoying it. I think the key to it, in the beginning at least, was that we were having a good time making that show, and I do to this day think that is everything in
Absolutely.
terms of the finished product. If you have a good time making it, it's going to be a good time to watch.
Well,
If
I
you're
think it's
struggling
true in any
making it,
job. It's
Yep.
true in any job. If you've got a group of people and they enjoy doing what they're doing, they're generally going to do a lot better job than if they don't enjoy what they're doing.
yeah, very much, very true. And it's so it comes right from the top. Steve Hillenberg, I remember hearing, because he had prior to that worked on Rocko's Modern Life. He was one of the runners of that show, or in creation. But I'd heard he was a bit of a hard ass, that he could drive, he drives sort of a hard bargain, that he was fair, and he was essentially a good guy, but he had very high standards, right?
Mhm.
What I want to say about the early time on SpongeBob is Steve Hillenberg had a sign outside of his office door, and it said, "Have fun or you're fired." And I think he really meant it.
love that.
Of course, that's really going to, that really makes you want to be happy, doesn't it? I've got to be happy, otherwise you're going to fire me.
I know it sounds a bit dictatorial, but if you knew Steve, you knew like he wasn't really like this slave driver at all. He was a really sweet guy. Did he have high standards? Yes, he did. But he was very gentle, actually. He was a really gentle guy. He's one thing that made him not necessarily the most intuitive fit to lead a show, is that he's really kind of an introvert, actually. He wasn't the most effusive kind of person. He wasn't necessarily great at standing in front of a crowd and speaking.
Was he a scientist or a teacher, or did he used to teach
Scientist.
biology? Or
He
Marine
had studied oceanography.
yeah,
He was a marine biologist. That was his first discipline and his first love. And he actually, the first sketch of SpongeBob he ever did was for a little comic that he made to educate kids about marine life, and it was called the Intertidal Zone, I think. And this was when he worked at some oceanographic institute, in Orange County,
San
I think.
Diego.
Yeah, not that far, but I think it was behind the orange curtain. Anyway, he decided at some point that he wanted to switch gears and pursue animation instead. So even though he'd already become a marine biologist and was on that track, he just ditched it, went to Cal Arts, got in, and got a degree in experimental animation.
Wow.
And then from there went into animation. So when you think about what SpongeBob is, it's really the synthesis of both of those disciplines. It's a little experimental animation and a bunch of oceanography. So
yeah.
yeah.
Is it right that I'm not an expert in these things, but I understand that it's not scripted; it's done on storyboards. Is that right?
That's correct. Well, I should clarify, that's how we did it originally.
Right.
That is not how they're doing it now. They switched to a script-driven show in season 9, I want to say, or 9 or 10. And what are they on now? 13, 14? They
16.
it's 16, really? Wow, man, I've missed a lot of seasons of that show. Um, I got to admit, it's kept going, and I'm not mad at it. I just haven't been paying attention. I've been on to
Yeah,
other
yeah.
things, but um, uh, yeah, back then it originally was what's called a storyboard driven show. And my end product as a writer on the show was an outline, not a script. And by that point, I would have all the story beats worked out real well. I would basically, it was my job to give them a very solid structure on which
Yeah.
they could build the jokes. I mean, and obviously the structure itself is it's there to create jokes. And ideally there's a few jokes in the outline, but it's really just, it's a joke vehicle, and I'm just here, I'm rolling out the chassis, and you just
So
put on all
no
the
script.
all the
So
fun.
is it up to the voice actors to put the actual words on against the storyboards?
Well, the storyboard artists are writing most of the dialogue.
Oh, okay.
But no, the voice actors don't write.
No.
No.
Okay.
The voice actors come in and they do their bit. I mean, occasionally they might improvise something that we'll actually use, especially like in the case of Plankton, I would say that, because Plankton is played by Mr. Lawrence, who is also a writer on the show.
Yeah.
So, in fact, he's been head writer for quite a while now, as far as I know. In fact, in season 9, it was really me and Doug Lawrence, who did all of those episodes, because at that point they had reduced the staff down. There had been a bunch of writers, and for whatever reason, they decided we don't want to pay for all these writers anymore. So we went from 5 writers to 2 writers from seasons in the transition from 8 to 9. And for whatever, maybe I was just the cheapest. I survived, and then so did Doug. And so we got to write a lot of season 9 ourselves until they shut down production to make the second movie. That was back when they only had one unit, basically. Like, it was like, if we want to make a movie, we have to stop production on the show to go make the movie. Now it's, they decided this is such a cash cow. They're going to keep rolling on movies and the series and everything else at the same time.
So was season 9 your last season, or did you?
Yeah, season 9 is the last season. I was a staff writer. I did some freelance work beyond that, but not on any episodes. I did ancillary stuff. I wrote the Twitter feed for SpongeBob and Patrick actually for many years. I don't even have Twitter anymore, so I don't know what it looks like. I mean, when Elon Musk bought it, I was like, I am out. But
good man.
I couldn't do it. I knew he was a creep even then, and then it's the creep vibes just have come out more and more and more until he's doing this on national television. But I digress. And I also wrote some other wacky stuff. I've written a couple of theme park rides.
Sorry, say that again. You've done what?
I wrote the script for a couple of SpongeBob theme park rides.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or themed experiences, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. One is at what is it? SeaWorld, Orlando, maybe. There's this SeaWorld in Florida where they have a SpongeBob ride, and there's another one in Australia that I wrote the script for that. So it was fun. It's wild getting to write in a medium like that, where it's like, all right, this is like.
Insane question in regards to that.
Sure.
Is there such a thing as residuals for that?
Not for me.
That's odd. I mean, you would think they'd figure out some kind of way for residuals for that if they continue to use it, but that's such an odd thing way out there.
Well, let me explain how that shitty situation has come to pass. There's the writers on SpongeBob and most animation writers, not all, that's complicated, but a lot of animation writers are not represented by the Writers Guild of America. They're represented by the Animation Guild. The Animation Guild contract for writers is kind of a shit deal, because unlike WGA writers, I did not get residuals. I don't get residuals. Uh, Instead, those residuals did get paid, but they got paid into a general fund for the Animation Guild that apparently went towards healthcare or something. And that would be nice if I even still got healthcare through the Animation Guild. But basically, at this point, I get nothing from the Animation Guild. So they're still collecting my residuals because the studio pays those residuals out, but they just go to this Animation Guild slush fund that I don't even get, that I don't even take advantage of anymore, because you have to have a bank of hours with them in order to maintain your healthcare through Animation Guild, and I'm not working on animated shows anymore, so I'm not banking hours, so I get nothing. So anyway,
So,
I don't have a lot of great things to say about the animation.
so what happened at the end of season 9 then? Did you decide you wanted to do something else, or did they decide they didn't want you, or?
Well, they basically said, we're done with you for now. It was, I mean,
Oh, that's
I
right.
got let go, but it wasn't like I was fired. There was just no more
No.
work.
Yeah, no
Um,
work. Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I gotta go do something else. And honestly, it took a while. It took a while for me to find my next gig. After that, I did eventually find another staff job on another Nickelodeon show called Sanjay and Craig. And that was a great experience. That was actually, of the staff writing jobs I've had, even though SpongeBob was really awesome, I actually had an even better time on Sanjay and Craig. And it was just because I got to work with some really fun writers, and it was sort of this scrappy production where we were sort of the redheaded stepchild of the studio. We were pushing the boundaries all the time. You know, we were kind of like, these characters were a little bit punk rock, and so we were always trying to do things that were right at the edge of what Nickelodeon would let us do.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and there were writers on that show that I just had a great time in the room working with. And there was in that show, there was much more of a room than there was on SpongeBob. On SpongeBob, when I was writing on the show, Paul Tibbett was actually running it. At that point, Steve had stepped away, and Paul was running the show. And Paul, I love Paul, and Paul's the reason I got that job, because we were both, I don't know, he liked my sense of humor, you know. But we both have very, like, kind of black humor, you know, a little dark, deeply cynical, but you know, somehow whatever I was doing resonated with Paul, and eventually that helped me find my way into the show. But he had a different, he didn't, I don't know, he was a bit of a misanthrope, I suppose. And I think that he wanted to, like, keep meetings really short, and he just kind of wanted to, like, talk to you as long as he had to talk to you, and then go away. So there was more of a cloistered feeling when I was writing on SpongeBob. It was sort of like, go do
Yeah.
your thing, bring it back, we'll look at it. If there's anything to talk about, we'll talk about it. If not, it's fine, and we'll just move on to the next one. Okay, cool. But Sanjay and Craig was much more like, let's get in the room and we're gonna hash this out and figure it out, and like, we're gonna go crazy. We're gonna like hit the wall and go, no, this isn't working at all. And like it was almost, it was more drama filled in a way. You know, it was like breaking a story would be sort of this whole day adventure where you'd sort of stumble through it, and you'd be like, ah, crap, it's already lunch and we only got a quarter way through this. We got to get it done by the end of the day. And somehow miraculously we'd pull it out of our ass at the 11th hour and be like, we did it. And look, it's a fucking great story, you know? And it was just like, it was just sort of these, and we just crack ourselves up, the whole time, and just try to keep our morale up. And there were a couple of writers on that show. There was a team, some guys who came in as a sort of a package, and they were just really good buddies, which was great for this show because that was the vibe of Sound J. Craig. It's a buddy show.
Yeah.
And those guys, I will still sing their praises. Hunter Cope and Adam Asaraf. They came in as a package deal, and they're a little bit younger than me. And I just had the best time working with those guys. It was so fun. They made every day just a stupid adventure.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do when you go to work, though, isn't it? You want to work with people you enjoy working with, and you can.
Yeah, you can crack each other up. You can talk about things going on in the world, and like you're simpatico. You're kind of on the same page, and you've all got that kind of sense of like, like comedy with heart. Like, yeah, we want to make fun of things, we want to laugh at things, but we also give a shit, like we're not just jaded jerks here, like we want to try to do something in our little corner of the world to just make things a little brighter if we can help it. I think that there's sort of a I don't want to use too highfalutin a term for it, but there's a dialectic maybe between these two things, where comic book I think that comic book artists have been informed by the silver screen, by movies, and then movies in turn have been influenced by comics. So I think there's a lot of, they're influencing each other.
I think this is a good segue. So my proud boast is that I have every single copy of SpongeBob comics.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, man.
So what happened here was I bought issue 1 because I thought it was a good investment.
Mm-hmm.
And then my daughters thought it was hilarious that I'd bought a SpongeBob comic.
Why is that hilarious?
Because of my age. So when Kyle described the age of people, he sort of said, 50's down to 7. Well, I'm 67. So, my daughters thought it was. So then my daughters then bought me another 5 SpongeBob comics as
there you go.
As a and that was it then, because I got something
to show you.
Oh, great.
It's right along those lines. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I think I got it somewhere up here. Here we go. Aha. You're going to like this. You're going to like this. Here you go. Ta-da!
SpongeBob number 1. Oh,
Steve Hillenburg.
Yeah. Oh, very nice. Yes, I do like that. Yeah.
And in fact, I got.
Oh my goodness.
Steve
Are they all signed by Steve?
Oh yeah. All signed by Steve.
Oh, yep. Be careful with those.
I am so jealous. That's a boatload of money.
You know that number one. That number 1 will be $1,000 at least.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to make me an offer? Seriously?
Yeah. I would.
Yeah, he'll buy those.
Okay.
You
want this one too while you're at it?
I know. I don't. No, Kyle might buy it.
What is that?
I don't know.
You got to blow him up or something because I can see it's a giant size, but it looks like a giant size Captain.
Giant size Captain America number 1. Oh,
there's a fun one. 1975.
Yeah. Who knows if that has any value at all? But
yeah, no, those SpongeBobs you were just pulling though. Oh my God. And here, this is how deep this show goes. Some of the interior art on that was done by Hillary Barta. Like even in issue 1, Hillary's a friend of mine up in Chicago. He's been on this show 4 different times.
Oh, okay.
And even was our first guest on the first episode some 160 episodes ago.
Wow, how about that?
And we had a SpongeBob centric show when he came on and talked about once Mark got
cool.
plugged in.
Small world, man.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing
if you're going to sell one of those, I'll bet you an offer.
Well,
Yeah, so
I am seriously looking to sell things right now. So if
okay,
you're
all right.
interested,
Well, I'll,
you are my first. You are in the front of the line, sir.
Mark,
no,
if you buy that stack, I know you're going to keep issue 1, but if he's got a Steve Hillenberg signed one, you and I are going to talk about me getting one of them.
So
All right,
I'm going to show you
let's
my
make it
favorite.
happen. I got 1 through 6 right here. They're all signed.
I've got my. I'm going to show you my 5 favorite covers from SpongeBob comics, which doesn't include 1 to 6, although they're probably the most valuable ones.
I can't see you guys now. Can you flip it back so I can see everybody?
Yeah. Oh, can you not see us when you're enlarged like that?
I can. Nope.
Can
There we go.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Okay, so I'm going to show you my 5 favorite SpongeBob comics.
Okay.
So this one I absolutely love because it's the water is draining out of the
It's
bikini
funny.
bottom,
I like that.
and Patrick is going, we were underwater.
That's good. Enjoy it.
This is a sort of comic collector's fun one where they found a SpongeBob comic and SpongeBob going, oh, it's bagged and bordered.
Look it up. Oh wow, so meta.
I'm going to be rich. And Patrick is doing it.
That's really fun.
This one's great. This is by the great comic artist Bill Sienkiewicz, who has done SpongeBob as Wolverine.
Oh, yeah. That's great. I get it. That's fun.
And this one's good. This is a sort of goes back to sort of it's sort of doing a SpongeBob comics as EC comics. So if you're a comic fan, you recognize the sort of design. Sandy is the scientist, and SpongeBob and Patrick have been shrunk down or in a test tube.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I like it.
They're such great, and then this one is just, SpongeBob is a load of dominoes, and he's, they're all going to fall over.
Wow, yeah. Look at him knocking himself over. How strange.
Wow. Yeah, so that's me done. Oh, and the other thing I have to show you, hang on. So I also sell comics on a sort of live platform, and the thing I use to display my comics is this.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome. Love it. Wow, really cool. Where'd you get that?
A friend of mine who's an engineer has got a 3D printer, and he made it for me.
Very nice. Yeah. I got a few SpongeBob tchotchkes right here. This is actually a reproduction of a crew mug. So I used to have an actual crew mug that had looked a lot like this, and I broke it somehow. But a good friend of mine got this made for me. It was a very nice birthday gift.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, it's got something.
I'll show you something else really silly right behind me here.
Yeah.
So this is what's called a Highland Park SpongeBob. It's just this is the kind of thing you could get in like East LA. It's grossly off model. It's ceramic. Yeah. But we actually loved these things on the show because we just thought they were hilarious. And it's just like kind of like a shitty paint job, and it's just like it's just kind of wrong, but it's so wrong that it's right. It's sort of like it doesn't necessarily matter getting it on model. It's just the heart. There's love in it.
It's outsider art. And you're obviously an outsider art lover.
Parody of Fox News, which is the fake ass news. If you look at that logo, it's 100% Fox News. We have really 2 shows now. I'm writing both of them. One of them is called Violence on the Truth, hosted by Hope Violence, who's really a parody of Laura Ingraham on Fox News, just basically straight up. I mean, it's not like it's an homage to her. It's not like we're trying to copy her, note for note. But it's definitely inspired by her idiocy. And so I'm just writing these monologues for her. And they're very in the vein of Daily Show, and somewhere between Daily Show and a late night monologue. except it's all a parody of a right-wing idiot. And then I'm also playing a right-wing idiot of my own. I have cameos on her show as a character called Brian Johnson Balls, who's not really he's not any Fox personality exactly. He's just a right-wing idiot. Though maybe he's a little bit Brian Kilmeade, because I did do a Brian Kilmeade joke in the latest.
Because you want to kill homeless vets.
Yeah. Well, I basically did this thing where I go, last week I said something that's got people upset a bit. I said that we should maybe just get rid of homeless people with lethal injection. I really want to apologize for that, because that's a very expensive way to do it, and there's got to be a cheaper way. And to our drug manufacturers who are keeping our economy afloat, I'm so sorry that I suggested using our expensive lethal injection drugs on the homeless. So
Brilliant.
That's my apology. Anyway, so I started doing Brian Johnson Balls as just a character on Hope Violence's show, but then we talked about it, and I was like, I think I kind of want to do this as its own thing. And so the shtick is, I have an interview show now called "Come at Me Balls," which is has double entendre on purpose, of course. And the shtick is that I interview real people, but I cut in my own questions, and then I cut their answers. So I basically take a real interview, and then I just rearrange it to fuck with them. And the first one I did, it's the only one you can see so far, is with Tom Homan. And we had a lot of fun roasting him, basically. And coming soon, in fact, I got a review the Take Ones today, is my interview with Chrissy Nome, Ice Barbie. So that one's in the works now. And as far as Violence on the Truth, we just wrapped up episode 10, and that probably will come out later today. So we're moving and grooving. We're taking a little, like a week off, and then we're just going to keep going. So the new Come at Me Balls episode 2 is probably coming in a week or two. And New Hope Violence drops probably today.
This is mainly coming out on YouTube, is it?
Yeah. YouTube is the platform. The director and Hope, the woman playing Hope, are old friends of mine. And he's really hoping we can monetize this thing, and we got a long way to go. That's a lot of clicks we got to get.
There's a guy in the UK. There's a guy in the UK who's been hugely successful with this sort of stuff. Called John. He's a comedian, but he pretends to be a broadcaster called Jonathan Pye. I don't know if
I've heard of him. Okay.
Yeah, go and Google him. He's really, really good. So, he pretends to be a sort of a formal reporter for the BBC, and then when he goes off camera, he goes on. He plays a left-wing character, so he then goes off on a rant. When he's off camera, and I have to say, it is the best political satire at the moment in the UK. None of the main, broadcast media are doing any decent political satire at all.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. So he's sort of really good, and he's made a big success out of it as well. So if you get it right, it can work.
Yeah. Oh, I'll have to check him out.
Yeah, go and check
the name.
out. But... Yeah, Jonathan Pye. Just type. He'll find him. I mean, he's all over the place. But he does exactly the type of thing you're talking about. He takes the subject and then talks around it and takes it to an extreme.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Spitting Image has recently come back, hasn't it? But I don't know if it's a patch on what it used to be.
It's on YouTube. So we used to have a political satire program in the UK called Spitting Image, which was sort of like puppets.
Back
in the day of Margaret Thatcher,
Right.
which was really cutting and really, really popular and very good. And they brought it back on YouTube. I have watched a few. It's not quite as good. I don't think they've got quite the resources that they used to have back in the 80s and 90s. But yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to at least get big enough to piss Trump off. That would be great.
Yeah. Well, that's Kyle. That's what Kyle wants to do. Kyle wants Trump to know his name.
Fuck him and fuck all of them, and I don't give a fuck about any of them, and they can suck my sweaty balls. I don't care about them.
I don't hate them all.
But I'm holding my tongue because I'm on someone else's channel. If I was on my own channel, they'd have shut me off right off the bat. But this is me holding my tongue. Fuck him. Sideways.
Well,
I dare you to, you little mushroom prick. Bring it.
In the UK, I would call Mark that as my friend. I would say, "Hey, Mark Yolicum, how are you doing?" But that's not a
you're my right.
Not an accent,
you're my right next
Mark,
tongue.
by the way. Mark gives me shit for my British accents, which I used to think were pretty good, but until I tried to do a Liverpudlian. No, if I'll do just like a regular.
Wait, are we going to do our
accent,
shitty British accents now?
Well, hang on a minute.
them.
Right. So just to let me. So Bill cannot do a British accent.
Right.
He can do.
Oh, I'm sorry. I beg to differ, my man. I beg to differ.
He can do a My Fair Lady,
I don't think it's very good.
The rain falls mainly on the plain. I think she's called.
He does a good Dick Van Dyke impression.
Yeah, he does a Dick Van Dyke English accent.
Okay, sorry. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Okay. I'm not going to do my Julie Andrews because
it's a bit
apparently
tepid,
you guys wouldn't like that either. Now, Steve has told me he likes my British. He's never told me that. I'm lying. I was trying to get the people on this British.
I do have a bone to pick with Derek. So
what
you do? What for doing a shitty British accent?
Yes. Well, I watched episode 1 of season 9 of SpongeBob today.
Yes.
And which you wrote, I believe, or co-wrote.
Oh dear, what did I do?
And there is a character who appears who's got a cup of tea like this.
Yes.
With the British accent, and they can't understand him, and they think he says they're talking about extreme sports.
Extreme spots. I remember this episode.
You got it. Yeah, you see. So you had a British stereotype character in SpongeBob.
I'm pretty sure the storyboard team put that in after the outline. So I'm sorry. It's not my fault.
No, all right, mate.
It's not my fault, as far as you know.
You can write the Department of Complaints. You can write the Complaints Department at the Department of Complaints. Complaints. Okay. I'll get you the address.
My Michael Palin is really good. Like, yes, I'm here for an argument. Thank you. But
Gil, are you doing this just to fuck with our British friends? I mean,
I think I am.
Yeah,
I think it was me trying to.
I don't mean to be a dick, but I don't know. I don't think that's too good. And I'm an American, but
Well,
I mean, Michael Palin wasn't born in San Antonio, Bill.
But I will tell you this: we do have several guests that come on several times a year, and I think you guys would agree. Wouldn't Derek be great for a recurring person here? I love him. I think he'd be great for the show.
You guys,
don't you think,
man?
Mark?
I'd love to.
We have so much.
Only if Kyle doesn't blow smoke up his ass every time he comes on.
Hey, the smoke's done blown. I'm done. I'm good. now I can go dark.
That's my favorite kind of enema, but
he's the only on-air smoker up the ass. I mean,
now I can just say dance performing monkey. Yeah, now I can just say dance performing monkey dance. But that was my roundabout way.
I better come ready with the sketch next time.
Yeah. That was my roundabout way.
Derek, I want to work on something with you so we can both do dueling British bad accents. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, right. Jolly good.
Oh,
right.
I love that.
Have a spot and see. Really piss these gentlemen off.
Bill,
Yeah.
you need to go away and do some. I sent you a video about how to do a Liverpudlian accent, and you've clearly not watched it.
No, I didn't. Send it to me again because I didn't see it. Oh my God, I have to
Okay,
go look at it
I'll
now.
send you the instructional video on how to do
Okay.
Liverpool accent.
Okay,
But
great.
Derek definitely beats you on the British accent, I'm afraid.
But
Okay.
yeah, Derek, that me doing that dance
It's a low
performing
bar.
monkey part, that was just my roundabout way of saying if you want to break into a 2 or 3 minute skit anytime you're on here with us and go off on a tangent or a rant,
Well,
please do.
now he
You're more
knows.
than welcome to. Just
Now he
take
knows
that
how
torch and
desperate we
run
are
with it
for
and set the
entertainment
room on
value
fire.
on our show. So yeah,
Derek, I have to
You know
tell
what?
you,
I'm gonna definitely take you up on that.
we would
In my
love
next
that.
visit, I'm just gonna have it
Great.
down so I'm not like searching around in my brain, like trying to go through the files. Like, what do I remember anything? No, I don't remember
Well,
anything.
it is live. It is a small current audience that will grow and people will see it. But it's okay. You know, we're just kind of that test market. We're the little comedy store show at open mic night where you can test the waters and
I appreciate it.
get your
I've
You know,
laughs.
actually
like
And
I've only done stand up a handful of times in my life, and I will say stand up is for a performer, it's like the hardest thing you can do.
it is,
Because
and
you're
I
everything.
did stand up. I did stand.
I just stand up here and I gotta be the writer, the performer, the director, and
I
I'm it.
I
You
used
know,
to
like
open
there's
for
nothing
Bill
else to
Hicks,
look at. There's nothing
and
else.
people are
I don't
always
have
like, "You
somebody else.
open
I
for
don't have a
Bill
scene
Hicks."
partner,
It's
you know?
because Bill wanted another Bill on the venue when Bill. God, who's that? Bill Ingvall wasn't available. He'd get Bill Field, so he could say we had a double bill, and he really did.
Ah,
He really did help me. And Bill is now considered one of the best comedians of all. I mean, he's been gone for 30 years, but he was considered one of the best comedians of all time by maybe 2 or 3 years after he passed away. But he wasn't really appreciated while he was alive. He even got kicked off Letterman. And then Letterman had his mother on the show and apologized to her because they shouldn't have kicked him off. And the reason he got kicked off is because he was making fun of the right wing having a problem with everything. But this was early on in the early 90s, and it just didn't go over well. So,
wait, you talking about Bill Hicks?
Bill Hicks. Yeah,
I
Oh
love
yeah,
doing
yeah.
stand up, and
Bill Hicks was awesome,
I did a
man.
pretty good job. I did improv for a while, but I
That's
miss it
cool.
when I don't do it. But a lot of the scripts I write for TV commercials still have a lot of my comedic sense of timing in it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I really love writing for comedy.
Yeah.
hey, Bill.
Bill's
Oh,
stand-up
you guys are
career
frozen.
went downhill
Nobody
because he
heard
couldn't
any of
do a
that.
British accent.
Hey, Bill. Where'd he go?
What? What? Oh,
He
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 was
went away
rolling.
right as I was
I
about to
think he was
ring him
afraid
again.
that he'd frozen, but he was actually live. No, we
Yeah.
heard you, Bill.
Oh, you
We heard
did.
you.
Oh, thank God. The
Yeah.
chef, I would be Chef Field, Kyle,
Yeah.
and I would have to move to Chef Field to be Chef Field.
Bill,
And if I
Yes.
were from Earth, I
I'm
wouldn't be a
quitting. I'm
Vogon
quitting.
poet
I will no
laureate.
longer tell jokes.
don't give
Yes.
up your day job. That's what
I,
I,
yeah. I don't. And it's not even, this isn't even really this is my day job on these days, but yeah, you're right.
I really
I
wish
couldn't
I
agree
wasn't from
more.
Earth.
So for
Yeah.
What?
those who like Scotch, I do want to give a quick
Hey, all
shout
right. Are
out.
we?
So Famous Grouse is mixed from the three highest selling scotches from Scotland, and you can get this big bottle for only $29, which seems cheap to me. But we're a
It
speakeasy
does.
comic store, so we keep booze in the house, and I already gave a shot to one of our customers today. So
How old?
So
huh?
you can go into your store and get a free shot of whiskey.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Even if you're like 12?
No, you can't. But I
Yeah. So do
also,
you card? Do you card?
well,
I'm
every
probably asking
every
questions I shouldn't be.
so no, no, you're not. Look around. All we have are vintage comics. So our clientele is probably the median age is probably 40. So
Right.
I never really have, I have asked people if they were old enough before, and they go, "Do you need to see my ID?" And when they say, "Do you need to see my ID?" I know they're old enough because they wouldn't volunteer it. So I go, "No, that's fine. We're a friendly establishment." Now, if the cops come in and say you're giving booze to a 15-year-old, I will stop that practice. But I'm just saying, for the most
But I
part,
hate to tell you this, Bill, but there's a lot of kids who know about you, and they spray paint their hair white, and they
probably
do like the whole, they put
Derek,
on
that's
wrinkles,
hilarious.
and yeah,
Dude,
it's because
this,
they don't know where else to get liquor.
that's
And
right.
they're like, but
That's
this
right.
guy's a sucker. This guy's an easy mark.
Well,
And all you got to do is do like a half-ass, I'm an old comic geek disguise, and bam,
yeah, and then
scotch.
their voice changes, and I can find them out. But I do want to tell you this
Right.
in a
Sure. And
comedic
they get
sense,
disappeared. Yeah.
in a
Yeah,
comedic
that's the
sense of
last
our
anyone ever
show.
sees of them.
Look at Mark. Mark could pass as a Guillermo del Toro look-alike, and I want him to get a Spanish or Mexican accent so people think he's really Guillermo del Toro. And
Bill,
and right,
I don't know. I'm going to break some news for you here. Mark is 17 years old.
no, Mark next to you. Oh, Mark is 17. Oh,
Yeah,
he's been
Yeah.
dyeing his
yeah.
hair.
I'm
Just
That's
running
right.
told
along.
me.
I'm
Oh
Yeah.
my
yeah. So
God.
Bill, I'm running a long con, so that when I come to Texas and come to your store, I get a free whiskey because you think
That's
I'm
right. And he's
old.
going to get
Oh
there
my God.
before his
That is an
21st birthday,
extremely long
just to
con.
make sure that this is a legal problem for you.
And he spent thousands paying this family that's supposedly his family, his wife and his daughters and son. He's played such a long con. He's probably
It's
into this
kind
by
of like
about
the
20
longest con you've ever seen.
pounds,
Yeah.
20,000
Yeah.
pounds. Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
people aren't his. He doesn't have kids. He's 17. Come on, man.
That's
Really? I
funny.
can't believe
Yeah.
you've been
He,
falling for this whole
he,
time.
he even has a kid who's a doctor. So yeah, he
He
Yeah.
has
is.
two kids
Yeah.
that are doctors.
Oh, two kids.
Long
I'm sorry.
con. Yeah.
Two
They're
kids.
not, those are paid actors.
They are,
I,
and
yeah.
yeah, and
Mhm.
they're not really doctors. They're like, meth addicts and stuff. Sorry, Mark,
I have
but
three
Well,
kids.
I'm
I
kidding.
have
I'm kidding.
now I think
I
you're being
kid. I
mean, but
kid.
I
I think
This is
have
you're
the
just
three
getting
funniest
kids.
upset
episode we've
because you
ever
didn't
had.
understand what was happening. But
Yes,
that's fine.
yes. Well, I'm slow. I'm from
I
Texas.
have
So.
three kids that are second generation Vogons.
Second
What?
generation, what?
Vogons.
Vogan poetry.
I'm
So
a Vogon
no.
poet.
So Derek, Kyle is our resident poet, but his poetry is so bad that are you familiar with the Vogons from Douglas Adams?
Oh, yeah, I knew I'd heard that somewhere. It's been a minute.
The
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yes,
Hitchhiker's
sir.
Guide to
Yeah.
the Galaxy. The Vogons have got the worst poetry in the
Third
universe.
worst.
Third
Third
worst.
worst.
Sorry, the third worst.
Okay. Yeah.
Some,
But
Nancy
it's
Millstone
used as a
Jennings
form of
Bryant's
torture,
name.
as I recall.
yes, exactly. Their own intestines come out and
I
strangle
love
them.
this
It's so bad.
episode so
Well,
much.
Kyle has been adopted by the Vogons, and
Yes,
he
he
is
has.
the Vogon poet laureate because his poetry is so bad.
So if I'm not mistaken, and I often am, you know that, guys, but I believe he created the Vogons when he was a script writer and script editor for Doctor Who. I believe there were Vogons in Doctor Who.
In Doctor Who,
That's
yeah.
entirely possible.
There
Yes.
were.
There were.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
they were stupid as yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, now I get it, Kyle.
Yeah.
So they actually have a Doctor Who origin, and
And yet my mother was a world-renowned poet, and I've had my poetry published on 4 continents, but I am a horrible poet.
We agree. We agree with that. Your mother was a good poet.
yes.
And I am a horrible
We knew
poet.
Kyle's mother.
Unfortunately, seems to have
yeah.
skipped a generation.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. 100%.
I don't know. Is it like a so bad it's good kind of a thing?
No.
I mean,
No,
at
it's
times,
it's just
at
bad.
times,
Okay.
Just now, very rarely. Very rarely.
Occasionally, it does hit that level of being so bad it's good, but it's not that often.
Stories I had suggested were, oh yeah, well, since we're talking about poetry, I'm going to tell you a story from when I was in college at the University of Arizona.
Okay.
And this, my major was creative writing, and I had a poetry teacher named Joy Williams. And I guess I'm gonna talk some shit because Joy was, let me put it this way, she was such a black cloud of a personality that Joy really felt ironic in her class. She was just insulting, seemed to be like a frustrated artist who's herself, who could only derive joy now from whacking other people's inspiration down.
Wow.
And it was just a bleak experience. It was like some sort of awful German festival going into her class every time.
Oh my
And
God.
so one day I come in and Joy is not there, and there's a substitute this time, and it's this older man, and we get into the class, and totally different vibe. You know, he's constructive, supportive, interested in what you're writing, and trying to help you make it better. And like, I like this part. I think cool, maybe we could work this. And we get a little ways into the class, and I just raised my hand and I said, I just want to say, I'm so glad you're here. And gosh, I hate to say this, but the teacher we usually have here, it just doesn't, it's not the same kind of environment. It doesn't feel like this at all. She's just really kind of mean, frankly, and shutting people down. And anyway, this is so much better. Thank you for being here. And he said, well, I'm sorry you feel that way because Joy's my wife.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, you know, I will tell you this.
I bet you in his heart he was going, yes.
Yes, yeah. I'm done so
Bears
much
Gone
again,
Show
Derek,
reference.
for gracing us with your presence. It was
Oh,
funny.
my
It's one
pleasure.
of the
Thanks for
best.
inviting me.
It's one of our best podcasts ever. And you know, Mark did a great job. Thank you, Mark, for moderating.
Well,
And
it was
Steve,
easy for most part, Bill, because you weren't there.
I was only gone for 20 minutes. You know, I
And
was
you've
in the
also
rest
only
of the
done. You've
time.
also
You're
only
a
done.
little in and out, man.
Hey man, I was also crackling today, and then I turned my phone off and back on. I didn't have those issues, so haha.
Well,
But
Okay,
normally
Yeah,
it's Terry that has those
I don't know.
issues.
Peter Thiel was trying to shut you down or something. I don't know what's happening,
Yeah, I
but
think so. But thanks
yeah,
again, Derek. Thank you
my
guys.
pleasure.
We'll
thank
see
you,
you
Derek.
next week.
There you go.
Thanks, Mark.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
All
guys.
right.
All right, let's do this
Obviously,
again
Yeah.
sometime.